you know?
Yeah, so if I don't end up owning a home,
You'll just have books for nothing.
yeah. Welcome to the library of Dagnabbit boys.
Yeah.
We decided to turn the podcast into, more of a gentleman's parlor.
Yeah, I mean, neither of us drink, but imagine we're holding like a cup of scotch right now with ice cubes in it.
Yeah, and these are books. These are all biographies. A lot of people consider these serious books, but I read the George Washington book and I actually chuckle.
It's actually very funny, a lot of the stuff that happened.
A lot of people ask me who I think some of the funniest people in the world are, and I go, the General George Washington
He had quite a dry wit.
Quite a sardonic wit.
Yes.
That, although his disposition was quite quiet in the presence of friends and private company, he could really open up.
Yeah.
You could see his teeth, so to speak.
Well, I was friends with Henry Kissinger, and that guy makes you laugh.
Henry Kissinger is fun to talk to because, privately he'll talk about Vietnam or something being a mistake. But then you get in with him and he's like, no, I support everything I've ever done.
Yeah.
And
he actually thinks what happened in Cambodia is what he says is amazeballs. He called the killing tree, the tree that they used to smash babies' brains on.
Yes.
He called it freaking amazeballs epic bacon.
Yeah, that's a weird part of Henry Kissinger is that he coined a lot of YouTube and streamer terms. He also coined the term sus.
Oh, yeah.
Because he thought that a lot of what happened in Cambodia, although kind of at his behest, was sus.
Well, he called J. Edgar Hoover. He said J. Edgar Hoover was sus is how it came up.
Yeah.
Because he was like, that dude dresses like a lady. And then he invented the song, Dude Looks Like a Lady. He wrote that song.
Yeah, he wrote a lot of songs for Aerosmith. Not a lot of people know that Henry Kissinger was an early member of Aerosmith. But
Sweet Child of Mine was originally called Sweet Baby I Killed.
Mm-hmm.
And it was about all the babies he's responsible for being dead.
Yeah, a lot of those bands, Guns N' Roses, Aerosmith, they took a lot from Henry Kissinger.
Yeah, Paradise City is kind of a sarcastic title about Vietnam under communist rule.
Yeah, where the grass is green and the girls are all wearing the same clothes and waiting in line for bread.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're a dark woke podcast.
This was established a couple days ago. The word on the street's been talking that we're dark woke. As you can see from our Henry Kissinger riff, we don't like Henry Kissinger. We don't mess with the motherfucker. If you're Henry Kissinger, you're listening to this, fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you, Henry Kissinger.
Who else don't we like?
Henry Kissinger's dumbass thought he could tune in to two mid-20s guys podcast. Well, now we're entering late, actually. Jesus Christ, we got to get things going. But
I'm late 20s. You're still mid-20s.
26, though, is your...
Oh, I forgot you're 26. Yeah. No, you're right.
Not good.
This is really bad, actually. No. I just try not to think about that.
Yeah. Yeah, this whole kind of boyish thing is really... It's getting rough.
Yeah, it never really worked for me.
No, we're going to start getting fat soon.
That sucks.
I know. But I think once...
Then nobody's going to want to fuck us because we'll just be fat, angry guys.
Yeah. Once we get fat and once our comedy careers haven't worked out for like double-digit years...
Yeah.
Maybe we'll break a wall and kind of, rise from the ashes like guys who like truly... Like maybe we don't know what it really means to like not give a fuck yet.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe our entire podcast will just become like plans rather than riffs.
Yeah, I don't know.
Check out the Dagnabbit boys. They have the funniest plans of any podcast.
Yeah, and it's just two guys trying to figure out how to like eventually finance a condo.
Yeah.
Or something. I don't know. That's relatable.
This podcast is going to end with you and me going in on a timeshare.
Phew, that would be awesome. Holy shit. Dude, could you imagine?
How long of unsuccess do you think it would have to take before you start drinking again?
My thought with that, because I've definitely had moments where I feel horrible and it's like, well, what if I just drank? It's like, well, I feel horrible right now. And then if I drink, I have even less than I have now.
Yeah.
Because the days of sobriety that you have are the loser's trophy, where they really mean nothing. And they are not an accomplishment.
Yeah.
and they're not impressive to anybody. And anybody saying, "Oh, it's so cool you're sober," they're just trying to make you feel better. It doesn't mean anything. It's not impressive. It's not noble. So, for a loser, the amount of days you have sober is all you have, because you haven't achieved
so we
anything.
have less than nothing.
Yes, exactly. Losing your sobriety is less than nothing, and we're not going to say less than zero because we're an anti-Bret Easton Ellis podcast.
Yeah, because we're dark woke, and he's dark anti-woke.
Well, he's Gen X, and they're sleepers. They don't do nothing.
They're slackers, which I think being a slacker is actually low-key awesome. Actually, being a slacker is really cool and not fucking pathetic shit. Isn't it funny, though, that the people that popularized slackers were the opposite of slackers?
Is that true?
It's like, well, thinking about, like, Mr. Show and shit, how hard they worked, and it's like, a slacker wouldn't work that hard.
No. I mean, I think that's the thing about Gen X, is that there was, like, 4 guys doing interesting stuff, and then everybody else was Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
But not even Beavis and Butthead, because those guys, like, kind of have a good time.
Yeah.
Gen X is just sort of like, what if I wrote a book about, like, doing absolutely nothing in the desert and it sucked? And it's like...
And millennials do that, too. Millennials do write absolute stupid bullshit. And then Zoomers write stupid bullshit, but it's political at either... it's either extreme right or extreme left.
And we got about 10 years till we see what Zoomers are actually good at.
And so far, it's not looking good, but it's looking better than the other ones.
I mean, I've realized that a lot of Gen Z, I don't think there's going to be a lot of stories about people like Paul Thomas Anderson directed Boogie Nights or whatever when he was 26.
Yeah.
I don't think Gen Z does that. I think we are all going to take a long time to do anything. And also, to the haters listening, maybe we'll all do nothing. That's an option also.
To all the millennial haters that think we're too woke or something, because every generation, the generation above it is like, they're too sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can suck our dicks.
Well, now people are mad that we're too dark.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
they're like, these guys are too dark woke.
Yeah.
They're woke and dark. That's fucked up.
But I think everybody in Gen Z, I think we're all, if any of us do anything interesting, it won't be till we're 40. I think there's like a general, like, we'll have to like fight through social media. It's taking us much longer to become human beings.
Yeah.
Because it's like just being raised in such an inhuman influencer culture, I think is so like distressing. And I think literally anybody who's going to do anything interesting has to work through like a decade of figuring out why they shouldn't just give up in the face of like pretty much fascist governments and a system of fame that really is just rewarding like fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Like my friend yesterday was messaging me a couple people that went to our high school and somebody else I went to another high school. And they were like, yeah, they're an influencer now. They have 3.2 million followers.
Oh, wow.
3.2. And then I was like, damn. And then I checked and I was like, Shane Gillis has 2.4.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that like, he's like the vanguard of everything that deserves respect, but it's like, he's very good at comedy. He's worked at a skill for a long time.
Yeah.
And he's really good at it and he's very successful. But then there's still just a girl that grew up in the Valley that like, if you look at her Instagram, you can't discern what she does.
Yeah.
She just like wears outfits and posts pictures and she's at 3.2 million. And, I don't want to sound like a fucking old guy being like fucking what, but it is crazy that like in the 2000s, there was like Paris Hilton and Kim Kardashian and like Paris and Nicole. And nobody really knew what it was, Yeah. We were like, why are they famous? Like, but they were influencers. And it's just crazy that like kind of small segment of entertainment of like reality people has become the most prominent and popular form of entertainment and just famous people that exist. Yeah. Like Brad Pitt is not as famous as like any streamer nowadays. If you think about the generation that's growing up, Yeah. And even streamers like have a little merit to what they do. Some of them are good at what they do and they're entertaining people. So I don't want to shit on them. But like, it is just crazy that like me and you are trying to be good at something.
Yeah.
When like you don't have to be good at something to like grow acclaim.
In fact, trying to be good at something is the worst way to get money.
Well, because if you're not doing it in a way that has a vibe and a brand and like just sort of amorphous character that people want to be attached to, then all the work you're doing is like pointless.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you have to transmute your work through some sort of influencer like culture that people want to glob onto, you know?
See, yeah. I mean, you don't got to tell me we're wasting our lives.
You know, I don't even know if it's a waste. I think it's a waste if you look at it in a very surface level way. Like if we only wanted to be famous, then we're wasting our lives. Unfortunately, it's not the only thing we want.
Yeah, that's true.
We also want to be good at stand-up. I wish we only wanted to be famous, because then
we know people that would just want to be famous, and it's not going well.
Yeah.
It's going very badly.
Well, I think it makes everybody feel awful, because really the best way to be famous now is just to have a vibe that people like. And so if you only want to be famous and it doesn't work out, it just means that people don't like you.
Yeah.
It's not like people don't like your jokes or don't like your work or don't like your podcast. It's like people don't like you.
Yeah.
And that's our issue right now with the podcast, is that, you know, we think the things we say are funny, but what we're not seeing is a wall of like boogers and poop that people have to get through to see anything we're doing. Is we're not likable or relatable.
Yes.
So we'll make a podcast and be like, well, this was funny, but people will be like, yeah, but something about both of them is like off-putting and I don't like it.
It's like, why am I going to watch Boogers on podcast? I might like what Boogers has to say.
Yeah.
But it's Boogers.
Yeah. People look at us and they're like, well, one's poor and the other has anger issues.
Yeah.
Who likes that?
Yeah, just people that relate.
And even
those people can't really, like, they can't find us.
No. And
they can't, our people, the people who like us can't find us.
And I don't know if people that would like us like comedy podcast.
No, they don't.
I think if we didn't do comedy, we would hate comedy podcasts.
I don't like comedy podcasts. I don't listen to comedy podcasts.
I kind of don't, and I do one. Yeah. So that's also the tough thing with podcasts. I
have friends, you know, we both have friends. I love and respect their work. I don't listen to their podcasts. You know, because I don't know how I have a good reason.
Yeah.
People that are like brilliant.
Yeah.
That I admire as much as I admire anybody.
Well, a podcast is kind of asking the question of like, what if you got somebody who like is talented and is good at stuff, and then you put them into a position, you put them into a medium where none of that matters, and in fact, a lot of that talent is squandered.
Oh, yeah.
On something such as a useless conversation as this.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we have to make something else. And also keep doing this, because maybe if we make something else, then maybe people will check this out.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah. Maybe if we get like an article and like, I don't know, maybe if we make something good and there's an article and then they'll like mention Dagnabbit Boys in it or something. Then they'll be like, these guys do stand-up.
What will happen is that, you know, if we ever get any amount of success, we'll make like $20,000 a month each for like 3 months. And then the New York Times will write an article that's like, these guys are left-wing, but really bad for the left.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people will hate us.
And they put a bad face on the left. And, you know, either people will agree with that, or we'd be cool enough to have young people who are like, shut up. But, you know,
maybe
probably
we'll
not.
be bad boys for a little bit.
And I'd rather not be I'd rather just be liked.
I mean, the Mossad will come after us.
Because what you realize about bad boys is that you become a celebrity bad boy when people just really dislike you and you have no other option than to embrace that.
Yeah.
You know, nobody's...
What if we got leather jackets for the podcast?
You know, maybe it would get us... Maybe we should just submit to being bad.
Yeah, we'll get leather jackets that say Dagnabbit Boys on it.
Well, we were going to start our biker gang that was the Hell's Mong Angels.
That's a really good idea.
Which is sort of a mix of the Hells Angels and the Mongols, who were rival SoCal biker gangs.
Yeah.
And I would like that, because then we could have beef with some bike... I don't know, maybe we should try and promote our stuff by having beef with people.
Yeah.
That, like, you know, we could at least get views from Hells Angels and Mongols being like, I'm watching this to figure out where he lives and I'm going to come kill you.
I do want an article. I do hope we get successful enough that a mean article comes out and it's like, these guys claim to be on the left, but all they talk about is crime.
Right.
They talk almost exclusively about criminals.
Yeah. And then we'll do a presentation where we go, to be left is to be a criminal.
We're the lumpen proletariat, baby.
Yeah.
We lumping as hell up in this bitch.
Everybody's coming along with us. You want to see a truly inclusive movement? We love pedophiles. No, we don't. That's not dark woke.
Yeah, loving pedophiles is not dark woke. It's dark anti-woke.
Yeah, that is dark anti-woke.
Yeah.
Listen, the dirtbag left is done. Dark woke is in.
Dark woke, it's definitely not going to go the exact same way.
No.
It won't go exactly how dirtbag left went.
It's not going to be successful for a little bit and then fizzle out.
Yes.
And then just be followed by yet another, like, extremely powerful right-wing wave.
Yes.
Both in culture and government. Definitely not, okay? But listen.
When do you think they're coming for free speech? Probably soon, right?
Well, they're canceling TV shows, right? And
yeah.
You know, I don't know. Israel's murdered more journalists than any war in the history of the world. And
good for them.
You know, what they do, we do similar things too. You know, so it's not just, I think in a more global society.
What would we do if one of us gets disappeared?
Finally matter.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I beg you guys to disappear us. Hey, we actually have a bunch of stuff we're not supposed to release, and we're going to be releasing it soon. Next week, we'll be releasing it. Cooper, I'm trying to get us disappeared.
If I die, well, the problem is neither of us can say that if I wind up dead, it's not suicide. There's nobody, everybody in our lives, if we died, would be like, so they killed themselves.
I think people would think that people would think you killed yourself, but people would think I like died from some sort of substance thing.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, you also have the vibe of like not really killing yourself because of self-hate, but just because of like, fuck it.
Yeah, I'm not really a self-hater.
No.
I'm way too up on myself. It sucks. People keep asking, I remember people at the store, somebody at the store asked the showrunner if I was a trans man. And I was thinking about it, and I realized, I'm just like a short guy with confidence. That's why they think that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I'm
also,
like really up on myself.
A lot of trans men grow beards and wear chains.
That sucks.
It just is true. It's not, I don't think it sucks. I think you both look cool. But
but I don't want to be something I'm not. I don't want people looking at me and thinking
you're not something you're not. You are what you are, and trans men are what they are, and you guys happen to...
But I'm not a trans. Trans people are trans, and I'm not.
Yeah, but you're not pretending to be. I'm just saying you guys have similar swag.
Great. I'm as cool.
And great. Black guys from the 80s also have similar swag.
They're also trans,
there's
There's
like a certain amount of kind of 90s, 80s swag that trans men and you inhabit. For different reasons.
Well, I'm nostalgic because I grew up in the 80s. I grew up when shit was rough.
Where'd you grow up?
South side of New York.
South side of New York?
I grew up on the south side, and I fought with the east side.
Of Manhattan, or what do you...
New York, baby.
I've just
greatest city in the world.
Yeah, you're acting like it's not a bunch of boroughs. I've just never heard anybody describe...
What the hell's a borough?
That is so sick to be from New York and be like, the fuck you talking about boroughs?
You talking about the city of Brooklyn?
The city of Brooklyn, baby. Where we eat sushi. Everybody in Brooklyn, you wake up, go to the sushi shop, get some sushi.
I know a motherfucker
clove.
from the city of the Bronx. That's a hard-ass place.
Man, I don't know why that upsets me. I have no connection to New York.
I'm from the city of New York, baby.
just even hearing you say it, it's just like, it's just so... It's so wrong, but with so much confidence.
Motherfuckers from the city of Brooklyn come to New York for the pizza. People be asking me because I'm from the city of New York. Like, how do you make pizza?
Yeah.
Motherfucker from the Bronx.
Well, yeah, because
they're from the Queen City.
Because also everybody in New York famously knows how to make pizza. They're all good at making it, too.
I'm like, give me $1, I'll make you a pizza.
Yeah.
I'll make you a slice.
That's what's cool about New York. It's sort of communist eating, is you can knock on any apartment door and ask them for $1 slice, and they'll go into their kitchen and make the perfect $1 slice.
But if you go to Brooklyn, they'll be confused.
Well, in Brooklyn, they'll just rap at you.
Yeah.
You get dollar freestyles in Brooklyn.
I thought they'll either rap at you or be like, no, I do know how to make avocado toast, though.
Ooh. I hate Brooklyn hipsters. Fuck them. You know what I do think is funny is like hipsters, like that type of guy, you know, like the kind of city lumberjack that loves Wilco or whatever. You know, all that stuff always seems like a trend, but there's a few people that just like keep doing it forever.
I think it's funny when people talk about how much they hate hipsters because it's like, well, it's kind of done.
Yeah. Anybody talking about hating hipsters now is, I don't know, almost a hipster themselves. Of like, it's
just guys in their 60s.
Well, yeah, they're just, it is funny.
Talking about hipsters being an Antifa.
It is funny to be like, I hate how people are now. It's like, people haven't been that way for like 6 years.
Yeah.
Also, I think culture just moves too fast for old people, you know? The hippies had like a whole decade. We haven't really had a whole decade of a type of people for a while. Stuff with the...
Yeah, I mean, wokeness only really lasted like 5 years.
With the internet, like, stuff comes out, 1 million people shit on it every single day, and it usually doesn't last beyond a year. And now it's like, now we have like certain summers, you know, or like Dua Lipa had a summer, you know, or Charlie XCX had a summer, and then it's on to something else. There's no like, you know, there's no fucking 10 years of a unified kind of way of thinking. Not necessarily that the hippies had that, but it was a group that existed for like a decade.
You remember Lindy West?
I guess even then they really more existed in like late 60s.
Yeah. They had like a couple years. You remember Lindy West? I was trying to look up what she's doing now, and I can't find any.
Who is that?
You know, she was like a writer for Jezebel and stuff, and people were really mad at her for a while.
What
like
did she
comedians
do?
were. She just like said like don't joke about this and that and stuff. So comedians are really mad, and I can't really find anything about her anymore. Like I don't know what she's up to.
Yeah, I don't know. That seems like a hard type of journalism to kind of keep up with.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, it's not really like politics where it kind of like always is important, you know?
Yeah.
And then also just like the don't joke about this thing, like everybody talked about that so much, and then all those guys just became more and more successful.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are you going to write an article about the Joe Rogan Experience now?
Yeah.
More people will see his podcast than your article. And there's also a chance that he won't see it. I think also like people writing, you know, articles about comedians at a certain point was like, well, the comedian will see this.
Yeah.
But now a lot of those guys have become so like untouchably famous that like it is kind of like writing about the president. Yeah. And I think those people liked writing about cultural figures because those figures were accessible.
Yeah.
And, you know, it makes you feel like maybe your words have meaning if they see it or something. But then they became so famous that they pretty much, entered the same realm of politics where it's like, oh, I'm just kind of complaining about something I can't stop. And not that that's bad, but I think for their own ego, they don't like that feeling.
Yeah.
They go, I want to complain about people who see it. But now it's just like fucking anybody can be so untouchably famous. Like a guy can
also,
stream.
Who reads articles? I haven't read an article in forever.
Yeah, I think old people who subscribe to newspapers read it. And then sometimes there's specific articles that get popular and get posted on Twitter, and people read the first 3 paragraphs until they hit the paywall.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of how it goes. I you know, journalism like that is not really in a good place. Sometimes I'll buy a newspaper just like to kind of read it, not really to gain information, but just to be like, what are like huge media organizations saying? You know,
you bought the newspaper and you're like, oh, I guess this is what they're saying. A bunch of guys in the neighborhood died. A bunch of old guys died.
Yeah, that's funny. They're just only talking about people who read the books. Yeah, I don't know. You know, I'll buy like a Los Angeles Times, and then they're like, 20,000 more people in Palestine exploded all by themselves. And you're like, all right.
It's weird how they do that, though. The Palestinians do that.
Somebody has to fix this self-implosion. I don't know what's going on over there.
Somebody's got to stop them also from killing themselves and then dumping their own bodies into mass graves.
Yeah, nobody's ever seen this large of a suicide.
It's kind of like they're all drinking the Kool-Aid over there.
Saying that people in an occupation have drank the Kool-Aid. And it's so crazy that people kind of talk that way. The amount of Americans that were like, if I was in Palestine, I would just work hard. I would just work really hard, and I would start a business, and I wouldn't let all of this drama get to me.
I would work out every day, read The Art of War over and over again.
Yeah. But I wouldn't be violent at all. Even if I was in an occupation that was like starving me, if not directly shooting me, I, for some reason, wouldn't be. I love just the arrogance of people in America to say what they would do if they were in a genocide or simply living in a third world country. They're like, well, no, I just wouldn't. They act like it's like gangs where they're like, I just wouldn't get mixed up in all that. And even gangs is like, yeah, you would. Mixed up in what? The only option you've ever seen? It is crazy when like white people in not even Idaho, just fucking here, in nice communities talk about kids in gangs just being like, yeah, you just got to not get mixed up in all that. It's like, it's pretty tough.
Yeah.
Like, I was talking to my friend I used to work with who was born in like not a great place in Oakland, and there was like tons of gangs, and he's like, yeah, it's like I used to get shit on, and it took a while of just like skating and being generally chill until like the gangs in the neighborhood just thought I was a nice guy and kind of accepted that I didn't want to be in a gang. He's like, but there was tons of years of just like having to not get my ass kicked, where it's like you either join a gang or you hope that you can endure years and years of like getting shit on until people are finally like, he's cool.
It's kind of like being like a able-bodied guy in like a bad neighborhood is kind of like being like a hot woman anywhere, because everybody wants you. And you gotta say no all the time.
Yeah. People don't realize that young able-bodied black men are being catcalled by gangs.
Eventually, you're gonna give in.
You would be great for crime. Get over here and do some crime with us. Yeah, it's tough. They're
getting like human trafficked into gangs.
Yeah. And then all the guys that are shitting on them and saying that they're idiots for joining gangs are also guys who like are doing the same job their dad did, living in the same neighborhood, going to the same bars. It's like, you joined your own gangs. Like, everything that was offered to you and the only options you saw, you did.
A guy in Afghanistan, a guy who went to Afghanistan being like, I would never join a gang.
You kidding me? You really think I would just kill people for no reason?
Oh, because somebody told me to?
I mean, yeah, you saw. I was trying to write a joke about that for a long time, about how joining an army is the same as joining a gang.
Yeah.
Where it's just like you're poor and you're willing to murder for the hope of money.
Yeah.
And then whenever I'd say it to people, people would look at me like I was crazy.
They're like, we're white people. We don't like to think about stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I struggle a lot where it's like
White people are the worst comedy audiences.
And we've talked about it. Like, I understand that a lot of people in the army join due to like economic circumstances, and it's not like they're fucking bloodthirsty. But I do feel weird when a lot of people take it as a given of like, no, I respect the troops, and then they'll just talk about how like every war we're involved in is awful and everything we do as a nation is awful, but they're like, but I respect the troops. And I guess it's just because like even though there isn't a draft, there is a certain lack of choice that comes with joining the military for a lot of people. But it's just odd because it's like, well, do you really need to say respecting the troops, or are you respecting just human beings, Because like, I don't know if I respect the troops. I think I have humane respect for somebody who joined the military because they didn't really see any other way out of their situation.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that means I respect the troops. It's a weird generality.
You respect a guy.
Yeah, I respect a guy. But also, there's a famous joke by some comedian, maybe you remember, but somebody has a joke of like, I respect some troops, but not all troops, not like the troop.
Stanhope.
Yeah. And he's like, there are some troops that, aren't bad people, and there are some that went to Afghanistan to a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's a weird, the grouping that we do with people is very odd. And I think that's what really I don't like a lot, where people go like, every single person in the military deserves respect. And you're like, does every single person in Los Angeles deserve respect? And like, well, no, that's different because they did something noble. And I'm like, the Iraq War was noble. Like, what are we falling back on to say the respect is such a given? Because there's no like resting place for the respect, where it's like, the war was wrong. What we did was wrong. Everybody knows it's wrong. Some people did individually awful stuff.
Yeah.
And some people were just there because they didn't know what else to do.
It's also funny because it's like, you watch any war movie, there's always a character that's just like, I'm here to do bad stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know why you guys are here, but there's bad stuff I wanted to do home, but I'd get in trouble.
Yeah.
So I came here to do it.
And I don't want to say movies are fact, but I think if there's a character
in every movie,
if there's a genre of movie where there is the same character every time, you start to say, okay, I guess that's a guy that exists. It has to. I don't know why we're making this up every time.
Yeah, I mean, it was Hollywood like, this will be really funny. Let's invent a guy that's never existed.
Yeah. It's also like when, I've heard stories that like when Bush, like when they first went into Iraq, the first strategy was like, kill insurgents, kill threats. And then it was like, okay, kill all men. And then eventually it was like, kill everybody. They would just just go in and just kill people. So it's just like, I don't know why we're acting like there are like people that are told by a military to go and fuck everybody up, but are still somehow in Afghanistan with no law really governing them, and are like, I only shoot when I need to.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't think anybody would do that. I'm not even saying you individually are a bad person. I'm saying you've been put into a situation where it's not even bad to do bad things.
Yeah.
So what are we doing here?
Yeah, to them it's the fun things.
And that's also like this just like weird kind of useless argument you hear from the IDF where they're like, we're a moral army. And you're like, I kind of like the United States because if you listen to any general talk, they'll never say we are a moral army. They always say, like, once we go, we are doing the worst things possible.
Yeah.
Where it's like, if we're deciding to do something like this, there is nothing left of humane response in us, which is it's its own kind of evil. But I think the U.S. has a weird kind of saving grace of, like, having done and purposely doing evil things, and we don't make any of it better. But what we do that some countries don't is not lie really for a second.
The United States is blunt.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people are like, what do you mean we don't lie? The politicians, the politicians to sell wars lie. But I'm saying the populace, the people that actually fought those wars, like the human beings, are really never putting on airs about what we do. Where almost everybody in America, whether they want to admit or not, is pretty open that we're an awful country. Where it's like, it's just weird to hear like Israelis being like, oh no, everything we're doing is completely morally defensible. And the U.S., I don't think, has ever necessarily felt a need to feel that way.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, no. And I don't think it leads us to forgiveness. We have tons of racism to get over. We haven't, paid any reparations. But I also, I think you'll be hard pressed to find a lot of Americans who aren't like, yeah, slavery was horrific.
It'd be funny if we got like a liberal president and they did give him the acres and the mule,
Getting a mule now would be crazy.
I mean, yeah, giving him a mule would be so insane.
The liberal president who demolishes all of the south side of Chicago so he can build fields, so he can give black people acres and mules. Because he's like, there's buildings where we were going to give you the acres, so I'm going to demolish.
We put you here.
Yeah.
And You deserve field.
They're like, you can't demolish our homes. It's like, no. You wanted the thing.
They're not going to give the equivalent or anything.
Yeah, no, they're not even a second thinking about like giving money. I was talking about that with our friend Morgan last night about how in comedy there's a funny division between black comedians being like, they could all give us $10 billion.
Yeah.
And then white comedians being like, are you fucking stupid? We don't have any money. And we were talking about like, there's definitely a middle ground.
Yeah.
Definitely everybody could get like a couple thousand, you know, like we could do something. I don't know. But also I think maybe that's, you can't give black people $2,500 for slavery. I think if black people got a check for $2,500 and the memo said for slavery, I don't really think it would like fix our problems.
For slavery. Thank you! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Exclamation point!
That's also it's also kind of interesting because there is an implied thanks, where it kind of just seems like white people just kind of stay winning in that situation where it's like, thanks, appreciate it. We're keeping the money we made though. But
You
Red
really
Lobster
helped
would,
us.
the stock of Red Lobster, if reparations were given, you need to buy stock in Red Lobster immediately.
Oh yeah, I think that's what we talked about a couple episodes ago. Though.
Yeah, it's going to be a recurring thing.
Red Lobster's pretty. Yeah,
The Red Lobster Index is our index for the success of Black Americans.
Dude. Whenever my dad, like, if my dad really felt like like taking us out, it was Red Lobster, and we thought Red Lobster was the fanciest shit possible.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, I was in a funny middle-class position where my mom was like, no, Red Lobster isn't fancy. But we would go to Maggiano's, which is a chain restaurant.
Yeah.
But they're kind of a smaller chain.
Yeah.
And they're a little bigger and look a little nicer. So she'd be like, this is nice.
We used to go to this restaurant that was owned by, I think he's from Haiti, a Haitian immigrant. It was a soul food restaurant. It was awesome. Well, I don't know, it wasn't soul food. It was fucking, what is the thing in New Orleans? Why am I forgetting
like
this?
Creole food?
No, Cajun.
Yeah.
It was Cajun food.
Yeah.
It was fucking great. I remember that was the only restaurant I really remember actually going to.
And it was good?
It was so good, dude. I would love to go back.
There's some Cajun places in LA.
Yeah, but I miss going when Richie's there, and yeah, Richie was great.
Do you think that restaurant's still open?
I can check.
Check it right now.
He moved it.
Let's go. If it's open, we're going right now.
Maybe it's near where my sister lives. Let's see.
Well, while you're looking that up, why don't we just do sort of a speed run opinion of these books? So I'm going to go.
I haven't read any of them.
No, I know. It's just about the men. So I'm going to go through. I'm just going to say the name of each guy, and you just give me one word that comes to mind. Okay?
Oh, that's sad. It's permanently closed.
Dude, that happened with the soul food place in the Valley I liked. It was a family business, and they closed too. It's almost like America doesn't.
Sad.
Do you ever feel like America doesn't really support those businesses?
Yeah, I guess.
Do you ever get the hunch?
Maybe he moved it because he used to have one where I grew up. I could ask my dad.
Where you grew up is a fucking liberal hellhole with no actual governance or policing.
Yeah, I guess you're right. He moved it to White House, Tennessee.
He moved it to the White House?
No, there's just a...
That's fucking amazing. Dude, congrats.
That's really sad.
So he gets to make food for Donald Trump?
No. That actually really sucks.
Will you stop getting mad about the denigration of America you're seeing through things you have personal connections to? Can you stop looking at the micro, which is the macro?
We used to go there for my birthday every year.
And now it's gone forever.
Now it's gone forever. And I don't know what Richie's doing now. And his name's probably not even Richie, to be honest.
No, it's probably like Jean-Pierre or some shit.
Yeah.
I mean, he's Haitian. He's keeping it trucking.
Yeah.
Haitians famously don't give up.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you're right.
You know.
I think he's Haitian. He's from He's from some part of Africa, I think. But I think Haitian.
Okay. Well, that's different.
Yeah.
It's way different.
Wait, is Haiti not in Africa?
Not at all.
Well, I guess I'm fucked up.
Where do you think Haiti is?
I don't know.
I'm not going to tell you, but I want to see you. You know what Haiti is.
I do know, but I don't know where it is. Oh, it's in the Caribbean.
Yeah. It's half of an island.
Stupid as shit.
They share it with the Dominican Republic. Correct? Am I wrong about that? Are we both wrong?
You're right.
Yeah.
God, let's edit this out of the podcast.
No, I think it's good. It's relatable.
Of me and just not knowing where anything is.
Yeah, Haiti was a French slave plantation.
I knew that.
And then there was more slaves and there were French, and then they revolted, and then they took control of the island. And then until like maybe the fucking 60s, like for an insane amount of time, Haitians had to pay like retribution essentially to the French government, and it ruined their economy. So they like fought for independence and were given independence, and then were hit with such hard like taxes, like, oh, you have to pay back the French for this, that it really decimated any chance of forming an independent nation or economy.
That's crazy, because the stuff they say on Twitter is that the Haitians are just bad.
Well, those are Republicans who.
Yeah, I don't like those. Yeah, I was so confused.
What some people in America like to do is to look at countries that have been ruined by America and Western European powers and say that they're bad because they chose to be bad. A lot of people like to view.
That makes a lot more sense.
A lot of people like to. Yeah, a lot of people like to look at Haiti and be like, they had all the options to be the best, and they fucked it up. Also, something weird about Haiti is earthquakes seem to hit only on the half of the island that Haiti is on.
Oh, wow.
Like, the half of the island Haiti is on, I guess a fault line runs under it, especially right under Port-au-Prince, which is the biggest city. And you remember a few years ago, they had a really devastating earthquake.
Yeah.
But it just never hits the Dominican Republic. And the Dominican Republic, they're very racist. They hate Haitians a lot. But we're a pro-Haiti podcast. I mean, Haiti is...
Give it up for Haiti.
Haiti, if you want to talk about dark woke, is probably the most dark woke country. I mean, they killed a bunch of French people, and they don't give a fuck, and they're wild. And right now they got a lot of issues. I think it's still being run by, militias run by barbecue. I don't know what happened to barbecue. It seems like... I think a lot of press from Haiti has kind of stalled because it's getting harder and harder for people outside the country to kind of know what's going on there.
Yeah.
But they overthrew their president. They're a very revolutionary country, just again and again. And they have a lot of turmoil that won't allow them stability, which sucks.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to stuff that doesn't make me look dumb as shit.
Well, let's peruse these white men.
Oh,
just give me, I'll say the name and you just give me one word that comes to mind.
Okay.
So let's start. Mark Twain.
Dad molested me.
Okay, that was more than a word, and it really spoke volumes. George Washington.
Mom did nothing.
Oh, okay. Alexander Hamilton.
Sneak into my bedroom every night, make me suck his dick.
It seems like that Mark Twain and them have something in common. Ulysses S. Grant.
Mom didn't want to interrupt her lifestyle.
Oh, wow. Even to save you. Okay, and John D. Rockefeller.
Money.
Oh. All right, we landed the plane okay. There's a lot of turbulence from takeoff to about, yeah. That was a toughie. That was tough. Well, okay.
Well, that was fun. Can we do that with other books?
Yeah. I'll just do it from over here. Okay. So this one, I'll read you the full title and the author. Slouching Towards Nirvana, New Poems from Charles Bukowski.
I'm going to kill myself in 2035.
Interesting. That's not long from now. The 5 a.m. Club from Robin Sharma.
Oh. Everything Numb.
Ooh. Nausea, Jean-Paul Sartre.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Run River, Joan Didion.
Oh. Afraid I'll Never Find True Love.
Okay. Born Standing Up, Steve Martin.
Terrified by the man I used to be.
Used to be. Interesting. QED, The Strange Theory of Light and Matter by Richard P. Feynman.
Cooper's gay.
Interesting. Basic Writings of Existentialism, Gordon Marino. More of a textbook.
Sometimes when I need to go to sleep, I just fantasize about myself being tortured in numerous ways.
Okay. X, Chuck Klosterman.
Want to read.
Bright Dead Things, Poems by Ada Limon.
Afraid this will never work out. It probably won't. It doesn't work out for most people.
Meander, Spiral, Explode by Jane Allison.
I was 9 years old the first time I saw somebody shoot heroin.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Who was it?
It was just a guy in front of the Rivergate Mall.
Oh, okay.
This is the parking lot of the Rivergate Mall.
At least it wasn't your papa.
Yeah. I mean, all this has been mostly fake other than that one.
An Unquiet Mind.
Oh, that works. That's me.
Okay. Girl, Woman, Other, Bernardine Evaristo.
Terror.
There's a good one. To Make My Bread by Grace Lumpkin.
Cooper's books.
Relativity, Albert Einstein.
Oh, fake.
Timequake, Kurt Vonnegut.
I've never read that one, but if I had to really think, I think that sometimes I feel like my life doesn't happen, isn't something I experience so much as something that's forced unto me.
The People of Paper by Salvador Plasencia.
Oh, that's an interesting one. I've squandered all of my relationships because of the defense mechanisms I made when I was a child.
The Marx Bros Scrapbook by Grosset and Dunlop.
I've heard that's a good one. I've heard that's a really good one.
Whitman's Wild Children, Neely Charkovsky.
I went to a child psychologist when I was 13, and my dad was in the room, so I had to lie, and nothing got accomplished.
Okay. These are some coffee table books. Who's Who in Rock and Roll.
Oh, that's about me.
7 novels by Jules Verne.
The translations on Jules Verne are notably bad, actually.
Where was he from?
France, I want to say.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I never looked. I just thought he was an American guy. Since
we're done with this bit, I'm kind of don't want to do this anymore. But yeah, that is interesting about Jules Verne is that the translations that were available for a very long time are like notably shitty. Like he's, I think, was like one of the shittiest translated authors.
I wonder if that was fixed by the time that volume was made.
I don't know.
Did anyone look into that or try and make it any better?
I'd assume. A lot of people, it's interesting sometimes if I'm like at somebody's apartment, they'll have like the Garnet translation of a lot of Russian literature, which is like, she's mostly good for like Turgenev. If you read Turgenev, I think people like her translation of Turgenev, but I never really, I don't know. There's an almost, she makes it like kind of English, like British kind of almost. Like she'll take this Russian literature. It's pretty unfortunate. And I think she censors a lot too. But I might be wrong on that. But I know she censored a lot of Dostoevsky.
We should become translators and just ruin great works.
We should add like to everything. I love the word like. Adding like. I'm really into the word like and the word awesome.
Like 20,000 freaking miles under the fucking ocean.
And then you say awesome. Guys that hate awesome are great. I love those guys.
20,000 awesome leagues under the sea.
People hate awesome.
I'm not going to do the same thing, but let me see what awesome could do. Okay, so A Happy Death by Albert Camus could be an awesome death. That's good.
Yeah.
You could have The Awesome Wisdom of Insecurity. You could have that. The Awesome Cognitive Behavioral Workbook for Anger.
The Awesome Ethnic Cleansing of Palestine.
Uh-huh. The Awesome War of Art. On the Awesome Road by Jack Kerouac.
Okay.
Awesome Islands in the Stream by Ernest Hemingway.
Are all these history books just the name of the guy? Except for Titan?
Yes. Mostly.
Oh.
Well, they sort of have other, like Washington is Washington a Life. Mark Twain is Mark Twain. Alexander Hamilton's Alexander Hamilton. Grant, calling it just Grant and not Ulysses S. Grant is interesting. Ulysses S. Grant also wasn't his real name. But yeah. I think with a newer guy, they kind of are able to do, it's less like, he's more, I don't know, he's newer. Something about that feels like you can change his name,
Yeah.
The Awesome Feynman Lectures on Physics. This book is about Robin Williams' Awesome Robin.
Oh, that's cool.
This one's called Normal People by Sally Rooney. Awesome People.
Have you ever tried to read Sally Rooney?
Is this Sally Rooney?
No, wait.
Yeah, it is.
Have you ever tried to read Sally Rooney?
No, it's something I got to get to.
I think what I tend to do is just flip to a random page and see if I like the prose. And I tried that on Sally Rooney and I didn't work for me. But maybe it's good.
Yeah, that seems like a tough gamble with a book. I feel like you just got to read the book.
No, I think you get an idea of their prose style by just flipping to a random page.
I think you get an idea of the prose style, but there's other stuff that creates the whole book. Like there could be other good stuff that you could kind of supplement. Maybe you're not liking the prose.
I don't know, man. I'm a real hateful guy when it comes to bad prose.
Well, I don't think you have to think of yourself as hateful. I think you just, I think you read a lot of books.
I'll accept mediocre prose if it's from like a genre novel, but for the most part, if it's a literary novel, I don't accept mediocre prose.
Yeah, that's fine. But you also read bad books you don't like.
I do, yeah.
You might as well give Sally Rooney a chance to read a...
Well, I'd rather read something that sucks than something that's all right.
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying it's a bigger challenge. Read a book that's just all right.
That sounds like that would drive me up the fucking wall. Like, I would be like, because bad books make you feel stuff. An all right book's going to make you be like, I'm so mad at how much I'm not feeling right now.
Right.
I read a bad book the other day, and it made me so mad to read.
Why do you think Sally Rooney's so popular?
Probably because, I don't know. I don't know her writing, so I don't know. I think it's probably good for what it is, Like, I don't know. I got like a random book of poetry and that's like a popular poet, and I fucking hate it. But it's like short to read. It's a guy called Billy Collins. It fucking sucks.
I feel like I've heard of Billy Collins.
Yeah, it's awful.
Is he alive?
I think he is.
Billy, you heard it here first. Shane doesn't like it. Do something different.
People like his stuff, but...
No, if you don't like it, I ain't trying to hear it.
There's also just certain types of stuff I don't really want to read, Like
Mein Kampf?
Yeah, that's one. I just don't... I like my books to be about, like... I just read bleak shit, for the most part.
I think there's something... I think part of the reason I've been into biographies recently is, like... kind of shrugs off a lot of worries about, like, is this going to be good?
Yeah.
Because it's like with the biography, it's kind of just good or bad, where it's either like, well, he didn't do a good job at telling a story, or he did do a good job. And I know this guy's good at talking about people's lives. So I'm like, well, if I don't like what I'm reading, I just don't like this guy's life.
Yeah.
Like, there are parts of this Washington book where I'm like, yeah, he's like a really, like, immoral slave owner who, like, doesn't act out any of his own beliefs. And it's really like his greatest fault as a person. You kind of read it and you're like, what a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Then you're like, well, this guy's good at describing people's lives and I'm fucking halfway through, so I'm going to finish it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely understand what you're saying about, like, if you're reading a literary novel that's like all just somebody's story and it's not told well, you're like, well, what am I doing this for?
Yeah.
There's no point in this. Because at least this, you're like, well, maybe I'll learn something.
Yeah.
And it's not like learning a skill. It's not like learning anything fucking useful, but it's like, I like to know things.
I feel like reading bad writing, you kind of learn stuff about like what you shouldn't do, you know?
Yeah, I
And
mean, if you
with
ever...
stuff that's just like, I'm just reading this to be reading this because other people are reading it, it's like, who cares?
Yeah. It is weird to think...
But I'm also a fucking snob about I don't read anything for the last couple of years. I don't really do that. There's just so many books, you know? And I get annoyed how many books I read that are from, like, the fucking second half of this fucking 20th century. I read so many of those fuckers.
Well, there's a lot.
Like, there's so many.
It is weird when people only read modern books. It's kind of odd to me.
I think it's like, you might as well not even be reading. It's like, why aren't you reading fucking the Russians and shit if you like to read?
Yeah, well, it seems it seems like a person that's like, maybe you don't really like reading then?
Yeah.
Where it almost seems the same as like how people will like, you know, only watch modern comedy or only watch or listen to modern music, where it's like, I think you just kind of want to be up to date with the times, I guess.
I am very behind when it comes to like modern shit though. Like,
yeah, I think we both are.
Yeah.
No 26-year-old man should own 5 biographies.
Yeah.
Should be getting pussy.
Yeah.
These books are gonna...
I own so much French pornography. I own so much.
Like magazines?
No, like...
Or you mean like...
erotica.
Yeah. Do you call that porn?
It is porn. I mean, porn doesn't have to turn you on to be porn.
I'm not saying that. I just haven't heard it. I haven't heard like writing referred to necessarily as purely like porn.
Yeah.
I feel like people usually call it like an erotic novel.
Yeah, I guess so.
But I guess it is. Yeah, I guess it's the earliest form of porn.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I guess the earliest form of porn might be fertility statues and stuff. But maybe that's not porn.
I feel like there's a lot of romance novels that are probably closer to porn, like what people think of as porn, than what I read.
I wish there was a little more porn in these books.
You read it like George Washington got no play.
Well, they do talk about how he did love the ladies. He like married...
I want to hear about his cock going into pussies.
Yeah, he had a good relationship with his wife, but also like he was in love with his friend's wife.
Oh,
and he would send her letters where like it kind of, I guess, was just a known thing that he kind of was into her.
Yeah.
But like nobody ever really felt threatened by it. It's weird. Back in like this like more egalitarian time, guys could just kind of openly be like, I love talking to your wife. But like since they were all so formal and like people I don't think were really like cheating a lot, it was kind of chill because it's like, well, this guy's not going to fuck my wife. He just loves dancing with her and like talking with her. And like you could kind of just be in love with a guy's wife, but also be accepted that like you're not going to leave your own.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, this guy kisses my wife's hand for too long.
Yes. Because like in this part, like his friend and his hot-ass wife, who George was in love with as a young man before he got married, they moved to England, and then their estate was in ruins, and he sent the guy a letter after the war was in ruin. He sent the guy a letter and was like, you know, it's really fucked up to see this estate in ruins because I had the happiest days of my life here. The happiest days of his life before he met his wife. He's literally talking about hanging out with his friend and his wife and being like, his friend and his friend's wife, and being like, those were the happiest days of my life. He's like, I miss the conversations with your wife. And then he responds and he's like, my wife read this letter. She was really sad. She also misses those conversations where guys are like cucking themselves in letters. It's like crazy.
I just realized something I need to say that I did not actually have to suck my dad's dick. That was a joke. But I just want to make sure everybody knows that.
Yeah, everybody knows Shane did not experience incestual abuse.
Yeah, it was just a joke. So,
but also, in terms of not lacking street cred, other bad stuff happened. It just wasn't on no freak shit.
Yeah, I just never. I mean, I was abused in every way other than sex. So, you know,
and that's kind of cool because then that just makes you cool.
Yeah.
Because if you're abused sexually, this would be a different podcast.
Oh, yeah. This podcast would be a lot more... It'd be a lot more... it'd be louder.
You'd have your sunglasses on.
This would be so much louder if we were.
Yeah. Yeah. You'd have your sunglasses on. You would smoke inside my apartment. And I'd be like, can you please not smoke? And you'd be like, anything I do is wrong. You know? oh, I guess it's all my. We'd have to talk about how everything's all your fault a lot more, and I'd be like, no, it's not. But maybe that could be fun. We could do like a Robin Williams kind of thing.
Are you suggesting that I go out and try to get molested?
No, it's too late now. You can't get molested now. You would just be getting fucked.
Yeah.
Also, if you
get
went
on Grindr and be
you
like,
realize
will
if
somebody molest me?
If you did that, you would just be participating in gay sex, which is fine, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
It's fine, but it's no molestation.
Hey, I do. You guys remember, go to bars to pick fights, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, real podcast listeners know that Shane is a big brawler in bars, and whatever that means is what it means, and you just got to accept it.
Yeah, you accept me. I'm here. I get into bar fights,
Yeah. Well, thank you for tuning in to a day in the Dagnabbit Boys library.
Yeah. I hope you guys learned a lot.
This was a more reflective episode on the state of our lives, but also our thoughts about some books.
Yeah, and I had a lot of thoughts about a lot of books over there.
So I hope you like our thoughts on books. And if you like Sally Rooney, get in the comments and just explain why you like them. We're not going to argue with you. We just want to hear.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Sally Rooney.
Neither do I.
Yeah,
I still got to read that book, so I'm not pro or anti. I don't know nothing. So
yeah, I just if anybody wants to, if any of the listeners want to text me directly about Sally Rooney, you're free to do that.
If you want to educate the dregs,
yeah,
go for it.
Because mostly with that sort of thing, people just, tell me about it.
Yeah. So we're open. We're here.
Yeah.
If any of you guys want to talk to us, and thank you so much for listening.
Yeah, thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye. Stay funny.
Stay funny.